From South Florida, this is Headliners, only on CBS News Miami.
Hello, everybody, and welcome to Headliners. I'm Elliot Rodriguez. The real CSI Miami takes you inside the investigations of real crimes. But do you know how the real crime scene investigators work on a day in and out basis to solve these crimes? Well, it's not as easy as seen on TV. Some of the technology is just as cool. CBS News Miami's Anna McAllister got an inside look at the real CSI Miami.
When you watch your favorite crime scene episode, it seems like the case is always solved in about an hour, but that is rarely, if ever, the case for these crime scene investigators. And we spoke to CSI here at the City Miami Police Department, and they showed us the methods and the ways and the technology that they use to help them solve crimes. When crime strikes in Miami, you'll find police rushing to the scene. And along with the officers, you'll see CSI scouring for evidence. It's what this team does day in and day out.
I don't try to blow up CSI and make it seem like it's some Hollywood show that we do. You know, I explain to them that we don't solve crimes in an hour and 3 commercial breaks. It doesn't happen that way. It takes time to do what we do.
Time to solve a variety of cases. The CSI team doesn't just investigate murders. They help solve other crimes through meticulous analyzation and collection of evidence. It's a process that stretches from the crime scene to the police department, where science and technology take over.
We can see, you know, with the different spectrums, what is there that you don't see normally.
Jeff Campos is one of the CSI supervisors, and this is the UV light that he uses to examine evidence.
If you have blood on the floor, right, and people use Clorox and everything to clean it up, we use alternate light source to show that the blood is still there.
There's also a high-tech and high-priced scanner. It's brought to every crime scene, and within minutes, it can take millions of pictures used to develop a 3D visual of the scene. You may have seen superglue used to collect evidence in your favorite CSI Miami episode. It's a real tool. With just a dime-sized amount of superglue, this chamber heats it up, creating a fume that sticks to fingerprints left on pieces of evidence.
Mostly what goes in here is like guns, some knives, but mostly guns.
You know that the work you do is what's going to aid the investigation. It's what's going to aid the investigators and the detectives in getting their answers. The work that we do in here or with these specific machines is what gets them their answers.
When CSI collects fingerprints, they send them up for analysis, where each print is thoroughly examined for potential matches.
All of the information that I've already looked at would be passed to a second examiner, and then they would essentially review all of the work and make their own assessment.
It's a tedious but critically important job, and it's the work of CSI that detectives say makes the difference in getting justice for victims.
It's not all glitz and glamour. A lot of it's out there and sweating and looking for that fingerprint.
And when I ask these crime scene investigators about the future of their field, they say that they're relying heavily on technology and that technology is developing every single day. But for now, reporting from the City of Miami Police Department, Anna McAllister, CBS News, Miami.
And now to Fort Lauderdale, where police arrested a man connected to a shocking crime, an elderly couple killed in their own home. CBS News Miami's Yvonne Taylor explains how detectives tracked him down.
A granddaughter of the murder couple is mentioned in the arrest warrant document. She was interviewed by investigators around the time the man accused of stealing the car was arrested. Apparently, they knew each other very well.
89-year-old Major Melvin and 82-year-old Claudette Melvin were shot to death at their home in Melrose Park back in March 22, 2024. According to Fort Lauderdale police, 30-year-old Maurice Anthony Newson stole the couple's vehicle hours after the crime.
Had you heard from this subject before?
No. As far as this perpetrator, right now, we're just working with the detective.
Fort Lauderdale police released a 23-page arrest warrant of Newson, where they included interviews with a couple's granddaughter, which the detective does not reveal the woman's identity, but wrote, during the interview, she changed her answers on questions she was previously asked, who was in line to receive the grandparents' house upon their passing. In previous interviews, she stated that she and her mother would be the sole heirs of the residence. In this interview, she stated she was never next in line to receive her grandparents' home. On page 20, detectives addressed the suspect with the same woman and wrote, she provided a photograph of Maurice Newsom Jr. She stated that they had been in a romantic relationship in the past. She provided that Maurice came to the residence following the homicide.
This is the first time you're hearing about this man?
Right now, I can't totally answer that question. What is happening is it's an ongoing investigation, and we're not sure where we are with making an arrest, but we're just hoping and praying that the evidence will lead to this person that took our parents away.
Maurice Newsom has been out on bond since last May. Today, police are urging the public, if anybody has any information on this case, it is crucial that you contact Crime Stoppers of Broward. Remember, your identity can remain anonymous. We are in Fort Lauderdale. Ivan Taylor, CBS News, Miami.
When we come back, see why elderly tenants in one rental community are outraged after they say they are now being forced to pay up or pack up.
From South Florida, this is Headliners, only on CBS News Miami.
Welcome back. I'm Elliot Rodriguez. CBS News Miami investigates rising rents at an affordable housing community for senior citizens. The grand opening of Tucker Tower in March attracted attention and celebration from community leaders. The 120-unit building is designed to assist seniors. Residents approached us 3 weeks ago concerned about rent increases in the middle of their lease. CBS News Miami's Joe Gorcho investigates.
Tucker Tower Management posted a flyer on April 30th announcing an increase in rent starting today, in some cases by as much as $138 a month. Some residents feared being unable to stay after moving in just a few months ago.
My health is not good. I'm not sleeping. I'm on the verge of crying right now.
Georgina Millette is restless but motivated.
I love living here, and what is done is not fair.
Millette worried about a flyer revealing a rent increase mid-lease. It pointed to a section of her lease contract for units participating in government-regulated affordable housing programs. The provision states that if the area median gross income changes, the owner may, at its sole discretion, increase the rent. The Housing Trust Group, which owns and operates Tucker Tower, provided a 60-day notice of the rent hike.
Were you aware of the provision that says at their sole discretion they can raise your rent?
Absolutely not, and that is on me, because I was so desperate to get into the building.
Millette's neighbor, showing us her rental agreement, also felt left in the dark.
Since that come, the only thing I think is how can I stretch the $2,000 that I receive a month to afford the increase.
They are each expected to pay over $100 more monthly than their original lease agreement. I wrote to the Housing Trust Group, who responded through a PR firm. I asked why they chose to increase the rent. In part, they tell us the increase must happen on July 1st, regardless of someone's lease start date, because they claim they have no flexibility outside federal government regulations.
I felt it was unjust. No, I hold firm that the residents should win in this issue.
District 9 Commissioner Keon McGee celebrated Tucker Tower's grand opening on March 4th. His smile faded when residents told him about the increase. McGee says he spent nearly 2 months examining contracts and seeing how his office could help resolve the issue. He spoke with HTG representatives Monday morning, seeking a resolution for Tucker Tower residents.
The residents will not see an increase in their rent. A letter will be sent out to them notifying them of such.
McGee says there's another call tomorrow to help finalize details with HTG. Part of that discussion will include that provision giving HTG the discretion during every lease term to raise rates based on new available AMIs. For now, residents tearful, thankful that the rent rate will stay the same for the remainder of their original lease agreement.
Joe Gorcho reporting there. And staying on the housing front for a minute, the city of Miami could increase trash collection fees for homeowners up to $60 more a year. City officials say Miami homeowners have enjoyed a good service for more than a decade without an increase. CBS News Miami's Ivan Taylor joins us again with reaction from residents.
Sally Howie has no complaints about the trash service in the city of Miami.
I think it's excellent. They're always here.
In June, Miami commissioners voted 4-1 in favor of increasing the cap on garbage fees from currently $380 to $60 more, creating a new cap of $440.
I think it's a reasonable request because it's been 14 years.
I voted against it.
Manolo Reyes opposed the measure, among other things, because of retired homeowners.
Those people, or those households, an increase of $60 per year, it means a lot to them.
Howie, who lives in Coconut Grove, agreed.
I can understand if somebody has a fixed income and bills increase, they're not going to like it.
Damian Pardo, recently elected as Miami commissioner, voted in favor.
Unlike every other municipality, they're paying a much lower fee.
Homeowners in unincorporated Miami-Dade pay $547 a year. Pardo says the garbage fee in Miami not only applies to garbage collection, but also recycling service and this, bulky trash.
Right now, they're getting amazing service. They're getting bulky trash pickup every single week, unlike every other municipality.
City administrator answered our request for an interview with a statement. The difference between the actual cost of service and what is charged to households is being offset by general fund money. The possible increase would reduce the reliance on general fund dollars. So how soon the Miami residents would actually see an increase on the garbage fee?
It's up to the administration.
The cap doesn't mean there's any increase at all. It just provides flexibility in the future.
Both commissioners said there should be another meeting if the city does decide to increase the fee anytime soon. In Miami, Ivan Taylor, CBS News, Miami.
When we come back, see how one organization is spreading their message of hope, faith, and love across South Florida with a mission to help those in need.
From South Florida, this is Headliners, only on CBS News Miami.
Welcome back. I'm Elliot Rodriguez. A World War II veteran has 100 reasons to celebrate. Just days ago, he turned 100 years old, and the community, along with the city of Fort Lauderdale, came together to make sure it was a memorable occasion. CBS News Miami's Nikai Carrero was at the special party.
Mr. Thomas Dowdy, also known as TJ here in his neighborhood, achieved one of his life goals, make it to 100. And while he celebrated with family and friends, it all began with a parade by local first responders. Surrounded by his family and friends, Mr. Thomas Dowdy kicked off his 100th birthday party with a parade fit for someone a century old.
I thank y'all very much. I wouldn't take nothing for y'all. Y'all so good to me.
Dowdy, a resident of Fort Lauderdale since 1951, has lived a life of service. First in World War II, then serving his local community by working at Winn-Dixie for over 40 years. His daughter Loretta said the outpouring of support means so much to not just her dad, but her also.
Because I've been here so long caregiving for him, and sometimes it feels like the work that you're doing is, you know, people don't see it, but the friends that I have, the relatives that I have, they all help me. They come in, they chip in, and to know that the city of Fort Lauderdale also cares, I appreciate you all. Thank you so much.
Loretta says it was 2 years ago her dad said his goal was to make it to 100, and she held him to that promise.
He fell 3 times in the month of April, and it scared me. I said, now you know what you told me. You want to make it to 100, so you got to stop falling. So that's what we have been thriving for, to make it to 100. He made it, and he's going to make it as far as God allows him.
I'm glad y'all watching me up and everything, and I hope y'all don't get 100 years old.
Mr. TJ says the best part of life is eating, and his daughter says he's getting 2 good meals a day. In Fort Lauderdale, Nikai Carrero, CBS News Miami.
I agree with him about the eating part. A nice party. All right, in this week's Miami Proud, it's all about restoring hope, faith, and dignity to people living on the streets. The nonprofit whose mission to transform lives calls itself Love is on the streets. CBS News Miami's Naja Sherman shows you how they are spreading love and making a difference.
First, a moment of prayer.
Thank you, God, for this day. Thank you for every soul here. Help everyone to feel your love, your light. Help it to fill our hearts.
Hands locked and spirits high.
All right, let's do this.
Awesome, let's do it.
A strong message through powerful action that some people who might often feel overlooked are seen and valued.
I pray, Lord, that you enter the home of their hearts. Take an extra one, my brother. God bless you. And then this is important too. There's people out here that love you, they're praying for you. If you have a Spanish friend, this is something in Spanish.
This card is beautiful.
But this card says, I love you straight up, man.
This is the outreach work of the nonprofit Love is on the Streets.
Love is on the Streets is a nonprofit organization committed to restoring hope, faith, and dignity in the lives of the homeless. And we do that by providing people with food, water, clothes, toiletries, and the spiritual guidance of Jesus Christ. Yeah, we connect them to resources, but we really work on building relationships with these people.
Love is on the Streets organizers tell us the concept for this nonprofit started through a social media challenge. The president of Love is on the Streets gave us the backstory.
With me and a group of friends going out and making challenge videos, finding different creative ways that we could build relationships with the people on the streets and help them just make their day easier. And then it developed to us making it a weekly ritual of helping these people, and then eventually developed into a passion where we realized we needed to create this into a company and an engine that could serve the people living on the streets every day.
Now, with the help of sponsors and donations of food, water, toiletries, and clothes, Love is on the Streets meets every week and hits the streets with its outreach work. On this day, a man named Ed asked for prayer that he might one day have a home to call his own.
Please continue to put the right people into his life, the right blessings into his life, but we specifically pray for a place for Ed to stay, a house where he can go ahead and build his relationship with you.
I'm a big believer that if you share a blessing, you will receive a blessing in the future.
Members of the nonprofit have a big vision for its future and the lives they can touch.
I would love to see maybe 5, 10 more RVs spread around all of America, have the community leaders in different cities, and us being able to really make a difference in all of America.
Members of Love is on the Streets tell us they want to unite people and transform lives through one act of kindness at a time.
Naja Sherman, CBS News Miami.
And thank you for joining us this half hour in Headliners. As always, keep it right here to CBS News Miami for up-to-the-minute breaking news and weather 24 hours a day. Make it a great day.